Okay, last week I showed that I needed to plump out the gasket on my AirHat or resonator box where it couples to the aluminum housing for the throttle plate. The gasket had worn out, and so I used a couple of layers of duct tape, very sticky duct tape, to I put just a little bit inside and then a whole lot outside to make sure that it couldn't get vacuum sucked into the intake manifold. And that worked very well. That helped eliminate a lot of not vacuum leak, but air leak issues. But I also mentioned that I did not have this wing nut, so I ordered the wing nut and received the wing nut, and now I'll go ahead and reassemble this, and I'm going to put anti-seize to make sure that this doesn't get stuck, because it looks like the previous mechanic that used it kind of stripped off the um, what the socket would go into to remove that. So I'm going to put the anti-seize in here to make sure that it doesn't get stuck. And also, they had broken off the plastic from the metal nut that was inside. So I'm also going to put anti-seize on here to make sure that that doesn't get stuck to that in the future. And if I have to, I can hold on to this with long nose pliers or long nose vice grips or whatever I need to make sure that when I unscrew this, only this turns and not this. So I am going to put the anti-seize on both areas. The screw that's in there, or I should say the bolt that's by the throttle plate that this screws onto, is going to get some anti-seize, and also this is going to get some anti-seize. But because I was missing this and because I wanted to do test drives, what I did was I bought a 36-inch, a 3-foot bungee cord, or I had the bungee cord, but I had never used it, so I went ahead and gave it its first use. You can see what I did is I hooked it onto that bar that goes into the frame. So I hooked it from there, and then I pulled until I got over to, I could not find anything else to use. If I could have found something else to use, I even tried to create something else to use. I bought some wire so that I could maybe attach to something firm and avoid hooking to this fuel return line that goes back to the fuel tank. But I really had no choice. There was no other option that I could come up with. So the reason I just set all those pulls is because I wanted to make sure that most of the strain is in this area to hold this down while I did my test drives, and that very little strain was in this area. So I pulled all the tension to create as much slack as I could over here, and then I hooked it, and then I just let the slack exist here while most of the tension is over here. And to help further prevent damage to this fuel line, this return fuel line, I put some tubing. I forget exactly what size tubing it was, but I cut a little, maybe 2 or 3 inch length of tubing, and just snuck that onto the S-hook so that I wouldn't have metal to metal contact. I would have a little bit of cushion for when I go over bumps and things, and also to keep any corrosion from starting, metal to metal corrosion. I did that on both ends. So now I'll go ahead and I'll release the tension here. Now that I've got what I need to do this hold down properly, I'll go ahead and I'll release I'm going to use both hands. That means I'm going to set this down somehow. Let's see. That should work. Could be a little more in focus, but I'm not going to worry about that. So I'm going to go ahead and take some tension off of the. So I'm lifting up to take tension off of the hook. Now I'm going to go ahead and unhook, and then now that it's unhooked, I'll go ahead and unhook from down there. And now that we're unhooked from down there, you can see that both ends got the same tubing treatment. The bottom one wasn't so crucial, but if I can prevent corrosion and rust and that kind of stuff, I didn't know that I'd be able to find this. I was able to find it out of state, had it FedExed to me, cost about $30 some odd to get. But if you find yourself in a jam, this worked for me. 36 inches might work for you too. That's it. Bye.